This is Sylvester Stallone. And this...
Well, I'll call you brother, if that's the problem.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
is Rocky. Today, we're going to explore how these two are essentially the same person, and how that connection brings a level of authenticity to Rocky that few movies can match. Sylvester Stallone is a Hollywood icon, a generation-defining action star. During his illustrious career spanning over 5 decades, he's acted in more than 80 movies with classics like Rambo, Tango and Cash, and Demolition Man. Yet his greatest film, his magnum opus, was actually his first, Rocky. When you think of Rocky, what's the first thing that comes to mind? The boxing? The iconic soundtrack? Or the training montage? For me, it is this moment.
I've been out there walking around, thinking, who am I kidding? I ain't even in the guys' league.
This scene epitomizes the movie and the person for me.
What are we gonna do?
But we'll get back to that in a bit.
Your career up to then had been small parts, right?
Yeah, that's kind of you to even say small.
At 30 years old, Sylvester Stallone was a struggling actor with nothing to his name but a handful of filler roles. With just $106 in his bank account, he was scraping by paycheck to paycheck. Then, out of nowhere, he got his big break. Among his many scripts, one began gaining traction, Rocky. Studios were interested. One even offered him $360,000, a life-changing sum for someone who couldn't even pay his rent. But he refused. Why? Because they wouldn't cast him as Rocky. And honestly, you can see where they were coming from. A no-name actor with partial facial paralysis. Why take a gamble on him when you can cast Burt Reynolds, Gene Hackman, or Robert Redford instead? Why risk hundreds of thousands, if not millions, on an unknown? But Stallone wouldn't back down. He fought for the role, and eventually he won. The rest is history.
And the winner is Rocky Irwin.
So who was Rocky? A 30-year-old small-time boxer barely scraping by.
Balboa, you get winner share $65.
To make ends meet, he moonlights as a debt collector, shaking down people who are just as broke as he is.
You should have planned ahead. You know that?
Then, out of nowhere, he gets the opportunity of a lifetime.
This is what I'm looking for. The Italian Stallion.
Rocky Balboa? Never heard of him.
The heavyweight champion Apollo Creed is offering him a shot at the title. But let's be real, nobody thinks he stands a chance. Not the media.
Quote a recent sports magazine which said, could be the caveman against the cavalier.
Not his opponent.
Hey, champ. You ought to come look at this boy you're gonna fight on TV. Looks like he means business.
Yeah, I mean business too. Hey, Shirley, you got any more coffee out there?
Nobody even expects him to last a few rounds.
Which makes me wonder, can he stand it? The stamina and the skill to last the 3 rounds, because Las Vegas odds say no.
And that's fine. He could just take the easy loss, say his thanks, and walk away with a paycheck big enough to change his life. But he doesn't. Instead, he trains, and trains, and trains, until we start to wonder, why?
Can't do it.
What?
I can't beat him.
Rocky pours his heart out to Adrian. For the first time, he says the words he's been burying deep inside. The fear, the doubt, the truth he's been too ashamed to admit.
Who am I kidding? I ain't even in the guys' league.
For a brief moment, it looks like he's given up. But then, his next words reveal why he's been pushing himself harder than ever before.
It really don't matter if I lose this fight. It really don't matter if this guy opens my head either. Because all I want to do is go the distance. Nobody's ever gone the distance with Creed. And if I can go that distance, you see, and that bell rings and I'm still standing, I'm gonna know for the first time in my life, you see, that I weren't just another bum from the neighborhood.
That's all he wanted. Not to win, not to be a champion, just to stand his ground. And when the moment comes, he does just that. He goes the distance. He proves to the world and to himself that he wasn't just another bum. I'm sure you get the comparison by now. Sylvester Stallone is Rocky. This movie isn't just an underdog story about a small-time boxer. It's a documentary on the life of a struggling actor.
Finally, my legs basically gave out, and I'm like writhing on the ground, and I want to rise up and say, John, I'm dying here. And he goes, no, use it. Use the pain. It's giving your character depth.
Someone who, when given the opportunity of a lifetime, gave it his all. Of all the lessons Rocky teaches us, this is the one I cherish the most.
If I was going to go down, at least into professional obscurity, I wanted to have the opportunity to say to myself, well, you tried. You put your best foot forward and you didn't make it.
Let me ask you something. What if Rocky ended differently? What if he stepped into that ring, took one punch, and got knocked out in the first round? No dramatic 15-round battle, no triumphant moment, just the overwhelming force of the champion, knocking him to the mat. It wouldn't have been the ending most people wanted. But for me, the movie would still be just as great, because Rocky still gave it his all. He trained harder than ever before. He helped the people around him. He grew as a person. Even if his opportunity ended as nothing more than his 15 minutes of fame, I have no doubt Rocky would have been okay. Because the truth is, he never needed to win. Rocky might think that going the distance was what showed the world that he wasn't just another bum. But we as the audience know, as does Adrian, that he never was one. Rocky could have been a flop. Sylvester Stallone could have gone back to being a normal, everyday dad. But would that have been so bad?
Out of us girls, who's Dad's favorite?
Okay, my favorite today is...
Oh, you can't. That's me. Do it.
I'm taking the fifth.
We face countless choices in life. Some will lead to success. Most will lead to failure. And in this hyper-competitive world, we've somehow forgotten something very important. It is okay to fail. As long as you take your shot and take pride in your effort, no amount of failure will knock you down forever.
And I think, again, symbolically, at the very end of our lives, if we can still say, you know, we were never humbled, we were knocked down, but we got up, and I can say, I lived life with integrity, and I took all the blows, as the song says, and I still prevailed. I think that's a good epitaph for anyone.
Thank you for watching. And thank you to everyone who's given me such overwhelming love and support. It really means the world to me. That is it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.